Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Quick Count. My name is Codd Sinclair. This is a re-upload of the December 7th, 2020 episode where we take a look at Starrcade 1998, where the main event, which we'll be looking at today, is Kevin Nash taking his World War III victory and challenging the undefeated World Heavyweight Champion Goldberg. Time mark is in the description box. Here we go. As this is starting and we're all watching together. So as of now, Kevin Nash won World War III after eliminating Scott Hall and Lex Luger for this opportunity. The card overall looks a little underwhelming. But the big thing coming into this is that Kevin Nash, being the leader of NWO Wolfpack, the Wolfpack is taking over WCW, and he's bringing that momentum to this match where we're facing Goldberg. As I said, his undefeated streak is 173-0 at this point. Michael Buffer does say in his introductions leading into this, and I can point it out for those who are watching along, he does say it is 174-0. So it does lead you to think, did he spoil it or did he just make a mistake? With that being said, I'm not expecting too much out of this match. I am hoping that I don't have to re-record this. WWE. Kevin Nash out first, leader of the Wolfpack. Crowd is hot for him right now. It's very interesting to see this dynamic here in this match. I have already seen this once for the original recording, but not knowing how much of the finger he had in the backstage politicking honeypot, Kevin Nash looks like a star right here. The bright lights, the big stage, the crowd pop, everything coming together for him here. He looks like a huge star. Now, there will be something that I like to call the Kevin Nash Manifesto as we go throughout the match. But we will get to that as we go. Mass destruction. NWO Wolfpack theme was so good. So, not a cheer for Goldberg as his music starts here, but just the few Goldberg chants. It's a very interesting dynamic here. 173-0, as Tony Schiavone just stated. As we're going throughout this show as well, they do say it multiple times. Goldberg coming out with his security team. Goldberg is totally a face here, but him and his security team stopping for a random child wanting to have his T-shirt signed. That's excellent as far as being a face. As being the character Goldberg, you slap your head coming out of that hallway there, but you've kind of lost a touch there for me. Just you've taken yourself essentially out of your normal introduction, and I might be looking too much into this, but he does come from the back. Crowd pops, and this isn't an additional light or anything. This is the Goldberg pyro. Yep, there's more. Yeah. There we go. Michael Buffer, it was right there where he said, has defeated 174 consecutive opponents. Okay. So it is a no disqualification match between Goldberg and Kevin Nash. In my original upload of this, I didn't catch that. And there's a spot later in this match where I kind of question that a little bit. But thanks, WWE, for taking my original video down. I'm not salty about it. Wow. That's one thing about not traditional, about current wrestling that I kind of want more of, aside from set design, which I think goes a super long way, as we'll see here over the next couple of episodes. But the pay-per-view logo in the middle, I love it. It just gives the ring a little something extra, in my opinion. Both men taunting, Goldberg getting the slightly bigger pop, but Kevin Nash being a part of a heel faction should not be getting cheered. Locking up here to open up the match. This is the first singles match under the new format that I'm trying, with having no background noise from the match at all, which I am working on. Bobby the Brain Heenan. Everything is on the line tonight. The streak, the title, the reputation of Kevin Nash is something that he said, but it's very interesting that they say the reputation of Kevin Nash is on the line. NWO Wolfpack is still relatively young. Big back body drop by Goldberg. lot of stalling. Goldberg never gets too rattled or bent out of shape from Tony Schiavone. Toughest wrestler ever. Oh my gosh. Nobody let Jeff Hall hear this. Big right hands and elbow shots from Kevin Nash. And as I said earlier, there's something that I call the Kevin Nash Manifesto. Many wrestlers have, their set of spots, set of moves. And they could vary throughout their matches. But Kevin Nash, same formula, same set of moves. That's his manifesto. That's what he does. Like he's got Goldberg in the corner right now. Big knee to the midsection there. And then a little picturing him up. And then back elbow. And then big boot choking the throat of Goldberg. And Goldberg single legs out of it. And then hits some grounded pound as Nash covers up relatively quickly. Ooh, Kevin Nash with an armbar. But Goldberg gets out of it, and he is back to a vertical base. But then locks in a leg lock. And Bud gets to the rope. A nice nifty sequence there. Kind of outside of the mold of Kevin Nash, but I think he understands that. I think he understands he has to bring more to the table for this match to come out not only the champion, but to be the first blemish on Goldberg's undefeated streak. Oh, big right hand sends Kevin Nash bottom first to the mat. Sorry, butt first to the mat. Kevin Nash back to choking his opponent with his big boot in the corner. Against the ropes, Nash misses a big boot. Spear from Goldberg. Very interesting looking spear. It looked like he missed a little bit. But then when Goldberg got up, it looked like he had kind of knocked himself silly for a second. But calling for the jackhammer now. And a low blow from Kevin Nash. So this was the spot I was referring to earlier in the video here. I didn't hear the no disqualification match the first time I watched this. And then when this happened, I was like, well, if it's a no disqualification match, just say it. Well, he did. And, obviously me trying to do my due diligence on this show, tried to call them out. But thankfully that video, well, not thankfully, I guess, because I'm here spending time doing it again because WWE took it down. Doesn't even matter. Nash catches Goldberg out of a corner and big sidewalk slam. Lazy cover for 2. This is not a world title battle, it's a struggle. Big wind-up elbow from Nash and another lazy cover for 2. Commentary is really hyping this up as a huge match. And to their credit, they should be, because it's Starrcade. It's the equivalent of WWF's WrestleMania. However, when you stand back and you look at the main event for Starrcade 97, the main event for Starrcade 98, they sold both matches. They sold the 97 one a little bit more as the main event, as like the biggest match in the company's history. But then 98, they're pretty much doing the same thing, pulling back a little bit. But so it's very interesting to think how or which match was bigger for WCW. Some would say this one because of what would happen after it, which I'll get to at the end. Thrust kick gets Goldberg back in control here. Or the 97 one, which was the first time we saw Sting in over a year. We saw Bret Hart. So a lot to digest there with that. Which you will also hear more about in the Starrcade 1997 episode of The Ref Bump. Oh! Nash looked like he was going for a suplex. Goldberg turned it into a neck breaker. A big judo toss and Goldberg going for a pin. But Nash with the shoulder up. Goldberg with a super kick. Well, I call it a super kick because it wasn't quite the thrust kick that he just did, but it wasn't a super kick, so we're going with super kick. Oh my gosh. Goldberg picks him up with ease and a big power slam. But essentially that kick was the same one that ended Bret Hart's career, or the kick that Bret Hart credits to his career ending early. Spinning heel kick from Goldberg. Oh my gosh. Here comes Disco Inferno. He gets pulled into the ring by Goldberg. Oh, Schiavone calls him a Wolfpack wannabe as he eats a spear. Here comes Bam Bam. Continuing their feud. Big clothesline over the top. And the referee trying to get security to take care of Bam Bam Bigelow as one of the security members is tasering Goldberg. It was Scott Hall using a stun gun to Goldberg. Mickey J never saw it, but it doesn't matter because it's no disqualification. Nash has recovered. The crowd is going ballistic at this point. Goldberg up. Jackknife from Kevin Nash. 1, 2, 3. With help from Scott Hall, disguised as a security guard with a stun gun, he stun guns Goldberg, and with the power of Nash's jackknife powerbomb, gets the win over Goldberg, his first blemish on his WCW record, and he is the new World Heavyweight Champion. I'm giving this a 1. It's tough because it's right in between a 1 and a 1.5. I'm going to give it a 1.5 count. I'm going to be a little generous with this one. It exceeded my expectations coming in. The addition of Scott Hall at the end I liked. Considering what had happened at the previous month's pay-per-view, World War III. Didn't like the disco run-in, but understood it. Liked the Bam Bam run-in because it continues the feud with Goldberg. But the match up to the last minute or so, I mean, it was fine. But which match was more impactful of WCW's future, it's this one. Because eventually, Goldberg would won his rematch. And what happened is that Nash would grant that to him, but then the NWO would have Goldberg arrested, essentially, on false stalking charges of Miss Elizabeth, who was an NWO member. So stepping up to the plate to accept the challenge would be Hollywood Hulk Hogan. This match would be on an episode of Nitro. I think you know where this is going if you're an old school wrestling fan. We would get the finger poke of doom here next. And from my perspective, that would be the downturn for WCW. Even though they still had a couple, they still had 2 years left. I think this was the start of the end, though. But that is all for this episode of the Quick Count. Check out all of our social media links in the description box below. My name is Codd Sinclair, and we will see you next time.